What's up, everybody listening on the radios? Welcome to Sports, Politics, and More. I am your host, Andrew Pollack, coming to you live tonight from Ocean City, Maryland. Frank Todaro, my co-host, is back in New York. Hello there, Frank.
Yes, Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I wish it wasn't cloudy and cold down here like it's been all week.
Where are you? You're in Maryland?
Yeah, in the Delmarva.
Oh, wow, the fancy studio?
Well, I mean, it's better Wi-Fi down here, that's for sure.
Oh, okay. So what happened? Why did you head down to Maryland? Was that for the Passover?
Spring break.
Oh, good. Yes. Spring break's a good thing. It's
it doesn't feel like spring down here.
Why is it cold?
I just said it was cold. In fact, they're saying the Delmarva might get snow this weekend, but it's not gonna. It's only gonna stick on the grass.
Oh, okay. Already, Andrew. Welcome to the whoever's listening out there. Already, we got technical difficulties as my sound player is updating.
Yeah, Frank's having problems in New York. What's going on up there?
I was trying to play some sound bites and my thing is updating. I don't understand. What the hell is it with these devices? They update every 10 minutes.
Not the device I'm using. I'm using my backup microphone.
No, I'm talking about my what you call it? My tablet.
Oh, you mean that?
Yeah, my tablet, my phone. It's like every goddamn 15 minutes it says updates are available. How many times do these things have to update? Every 24 hours? Because
it's consumerism. That's why.
Anyway, hopefully we'll have a good show tonight. There's a lot going on, Andrew, of course, as usual. There's always a lot going on in the world.
Yeah, with that YouTube lady.
The YouTube lady who went ballistic. She went postal at the YouTube headquarters. We got the caravan, the immigrants, the illegal aliens coming into the border. We'll see what happens with them. We'll talk about them at 8:30. We'll talk about Facebook, how their scandal continues, and how it's pretty much being ignored by the media, and a lot of people are very ignorant towards it. I'm sure you don't know too much about it at the end, do you?
I'm sorry, Frank. Say that again.
About Facebook's scandal that's going on.
Yeah, I saw that come up on the Drudge Report, but I just got an interesting story about the Wizard of Oz, if anybody wants to hear about it.
What is the story about the Wizard of Oz?
Well, apparently this was posted on an Australian news website, and somebody's claiming that the Munchkins molested Judy Garland.
Ah, stop it. Get out of here.
I don't know. It just popped up on my feed. I did want to talk about Zuckerberg.
Yeah, we'll talk about him at the news. Well, at 8:20. What are you laughing at? At 8:20, we'll have another movie review, 80s movie review. I picked out a good movie this week. Andrew, did you get a chance to peek at it?
Movie.
The movie that don't ruin it.
What?
This guy, you don't know nothing about suspense.
Oh.
Now, what if there's people out there? What if we would really do a big TV show, right, or a big radio show? And I said at 8:20 we're going to have a big movie review, and then people are going to stay on and tune in until 8:20 just to see what the movie is. And then once they're there, they're going to say, "Oh well, let me just hear this." But you blurted it out at 8:05, and they're going to say, "Oh, no, I hate that movie. The hell with it." And now people tone off. Come on, Andrew.
Oh,
Don't you know about ratings?
Right.
And this guy, he never sounds excited when he's on here.
Really?
I don't know. You never sound excited. Sometimes when I say something or I say a joke, you're like, okay, all right. If you don't laugh, how are people supposed to laugh? Anyway, hold on. I got my tablet back. I'm working on it. Hold on.
Now, let's give a big Junior Achievers welcome to our guest speaker, I know he can teach us a lot about business, Mr. C. Montgomery Burns.
All right.
I'll
Simpsons.
keep it short and sweet. Family, religion, friendship. These are the three demons you must slay if you wish to succeed in business. When opportunity knocks, you don't want to be driving to the maternity hospital or sitting in some phony baloney church or synagogue. Questions?
Well, I'm going to take advantage of this rare opportunity, even if you children aren't interested. Which do you think is more important, hard work or stick-to-itiveness?
Are there any real questions?
All right, yeah, that's the clip I was going to play at the beginning. But anyway, Andrew, so that's that. These are the major things going on. What else said? Now, what's your take on this thing with the border?
What do you mean, Trump trying to fund fund everything with the military?
About him sending the military there.
That too. You know, I was going to say, I was watching the news before we started tonight, and I am aware of what's going on. And yes, I am aware of the National Guard being sent to the border. I think it's just to intimidate them, I hear.
Oh, of course. Listen, supposedly this is not the first time it's happened, and we'll talk more about it. Like, this is not the first time it's happened. It's supposedly there's like 1,200 people. I mean, that's like an invasion. It's like an invading army coming into the country. You can't just sit there and give them food and water. What's the limit? What if next time there's 12,000 people? Or what if next time there's 120,000 people? We're gonna just let them all in. These fucking people. You know, I don't want to curse because, you know, Jules. I don't want it to get her this video taken down. But this is ridiculous. I hate the news, and I hate. Does everybody hear me? I hate anybody that supports this. I hate them. I hate people, normal people that support this shit. Oh, let them in. We're all. There's no borders. Fuck you. How about that? It's like
you're lucky nobody's on my floor this week.
Yeah. Okay. Do your neighbors hear me, Andrew? But really, I mean, you gotta be kidding. All these people who just have an opinion and they just spout shit and say, "Oh, we're all people. There's no borders." Well, tonight, how about you take 50 homeless people into your apartment?
Oh, my parents would have a flip out. They would be yelling at me if that happened.
Yes. See?
I mean, it's unit. Oh man, we can only have at least 3 people in here.
But Andrew, you gotta give of yourself. Screw that. It's ridiculous. Do you realize if they tried to do that in any other country, they'd be met they would have met at the border by their military. These people would be rounded up, arrested, and never to be seen again. They'd fucking kill them.
So what you're trying to say here is that you're annoyed that the mainstream media is promoting this story from Fox News that was from last weekend.
Yeah, could you imagine if Hillary was the president? Oh, she'd go down there and have a welcoming party, and she just so she could score
right
points.
Now, if Hillary was the president,
what's that?
I would probably.
Andrew, so don't break up on me. Are you wearing your earphones?
They have to take some kind of headache pill.
Are you wearing your earphones, Andrew?
Frank, I said I would have.
You better put on your earphones.
I don't have it. Frank.
You don't have earphones? Why don't you have earphones? Hang up.
Well, I mean, I can grab some.
Andrew, hang up, and call back in with earphones because you're ruining the show.
All right.
Every week I got to tell them. Listen, if you're anybody's listening out there, when you're talking on Skype or whatever, cam to cam, or you're talking on the computer, you have to wear earphones because if you don't wear earphones, your computer's microphone catches the audio and it keeps looping back. It keeps looping infinitely, and it creates a lag. I keep telling Andrew this, and he doesn't understand. He forgot this week. It's if you don't have earphones, you can't do this show. You can't talk on Skype. Well, anything related to internet video and audio. It creates a lag. That's why we wear the headphones. It's not to look cool.
Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now. You gotta wear earphones. I told you many times. Otherwise, the audio creates a loop.
Oh, now I remember.
Oh, now you remember. Oh my God, I'm gonna jump off a bridge. I swear.
The Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah, maybe. Just like the person who threw themselves off the Verrazano Bridge over the weekend.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, somebody jumped off the bridge, and I think they found them. I'm not sure, but anyway, we're gonna moving along. It's already 8:12. It's already 8:12. I wanted to talk about the YouTube shooter, and there was so many conspiracies yesterday when it happened, whatever the hell it happened a couple days ago, about on social media already. People thought it was going to be another white male, right wing, and there was going to be another field day to ban guns. But no, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. And I'm trying to get the clip going here. So, Andrew, what was your reaction when you heard this? Did you think this was going to be about another mass shooting, or what was your
the YouTube one?
What? Andrew,
YouTube shooting.
Andrew, if one more time, I'm going to ask you to hang up.
Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Andrew.
You know why? Because my mic close to the mic. Am I close to the mic now?
Yes, but you keep lagging back and forth. Anyway, so that's the story with the YouTube shooting, and it didn't turn out to be a white Christian male or whatever the media. That's the number one enemy today. So we'll play a little clip.
Oh, you mean your average white evangelical?
Yes. All right, let's play a clip, Andrew. You better get situated with that thing, or you're gonna be 86th. All right, listen to this.
All right.
Shooter, many morons on social media were blaming right-wing white men, like this guy, who tweeted, "If the shooter at YouTube isn't a white male with far-right leanings, I will eat my effing hat. Get rid of the effing guns." Other idiots were convinced it was an Alex Jones fan who was retaliating against YouTube for taking down Alex's videos, criticizing the Parkland students, and issuing community guideline strikes at his channel. Like this guy.
Nope.
Quote, "My guess is the active shooter at YouTube is a man angry at YouTube for taking down the phony video accusing David Hogg of being a crisis actor.
Nope.
Or it's an Alex Jones supporter.
Nope.
Either way, right-wing domestic terrorism is
Right-wing supremacists did not cause
Nope.
Alex
What
happened yesterday?
Trump supporter. This Salon.com writer put out a reminder that Alex Jones recently went to war against YouTube and wouldn't be shocked if the shooter is linked to Jones. Then it came out that the shooter was a woman, and CNN brushed it off as if it was just a domestic dispute and a love triangle gone wrong. Here's a report from CBS on that conspiracy theory.
A law enforcement source tells CBS News that the critically injured male victim is believed to be the suspected shooter's boyfriend. Police say one of the people suffered an ankle injury but was not shot. John Blackstone is on the scene.
But it turns out the shooter wasn't a white male NRA member. It was a female Iranian immigrant animal rights activist.
Oh, my God.
Barely speaking. Oh. And I'm not kidding when I say that her motive was because YouTube was demonetizing her videos and censoring them, and she wasn't getting the growth in subscribers that she had hoped for.
Being discriminated and filtered on YouTube, and I'm not the only one. So recently, they also attacked my Persian channel, Nassim Snaps. And if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stop getting views. So this is because I'm being filtered. This is what they are doing to vegan activists and many other people who try to promote healthy, humane, and smart living. People like me are not good for big businesses.
Her channel, along with all of her videos, have been removed, as was her Facebook page and her Instagram accounts. But a lot of people were able to download these videos and photos and repost them before she became an Orwellian unperson. Here's one of those videos.
Kasabon alinden kaçmış bir tavuk konmuş kapıma yalnız kalmış korkmuş.
Good enough.
Stop.
Ah tavuk kıyamam.
No, but she's Iranian, but it's okay.
Imagine why you didn't get any subscribers or viewers. Looks like you found a real niche there for Iranian vegan animal rights activism. And since she's a female Iranian immigrant who could barely speak English, instead of a white male right-wing Donald Trump-supporting NRA member, it's no wonder CNN went back to their Robert Mueller fan fiction as their regularly scheduled programming. Thankfully, she is the only one who died, and hopefully the three who she wounded.
All right, so there you go. There you get the gist of it. So that's the gist of it is that it didn't fit. It didn't fit the mainstream media narrative. So of course they have no interest in this story because who cares? It's like foreign language.
I mean, it wasn't a mass shooting, wasn't it?
What's that? All right, and hang up. Take the night off because your audio is not cooperating tonight. We can't. I can't.
Not cooperating.
Hang up. I can't hear you. You sound like you're talking from underwater. You're gonna only ruin the show, and we're gonna waste an hour because it's gonna be unlistenable. All right. So thank you. If you want to call back later, 8:30, maybe you get a better signal. I don't know. But anyway, we got to move along. Andrew, thank you. Try calling back later. Get your stuff fixed. Anyway, so that's it. I mean, listen. There is, and stop making noise. All right. Thank you. Listen, as far as these shootings are concerned, listen, it's only what we know. They let us know. There's shootings every day in the country. It's just what's the juiciest story? I mean, yes, a shooting at the YouTube headquarters at the YouTube campus. Yeah, of course it would. People's antennas would go up since YouTube is at war with everybody except I don't know. My personal experience, I had my channel. I monetized my channel a year ago. This year, it got to the point where you can't even put certain words with connotations in your title. It gets instantly. The YouTube algorithm will flag it and demonetize it, and then of course you could ask for a manual review. Even if you say Joe Schmo passes away, if you want to make like I made a tribute video. I said this a while back. I think Michael was on. Michael from Prime Time. Michael, if you're listening, shout out to you. When the wrestling manager Bobby Heenan died, I put in the title Bobby Heenan passes away, and within 10 seconds, YouTube demonetized the video. So I had to write "Rest in Peace, R.I.P." It's ridiculous. You can't even write. You can't like. There's a certain channel that talks about comic books. And it talks about killing the superheroes. They have to say unalive the superheroes. It's ridiculous. What are we living in? What is this? Kindergarten? The advertisers rule the world. I guess. It's the truth. Advertisers rule everything. All these corporations and advertising firms and agencies, they rule the world. I mean, it's probably a good bulk of the economy is run by these ads and commercials. I mean, think about it. All day, just look. We're not even aware and conscious of all the information we pick up from advertisers. It's all around us. Symbols, headlines, subliminal texts. Anything you could think of, it's all around us. We're constantly bombarded by ads. But anyway, all right. So I guess I was going to do the movie review with Andrew, but I don't know. He's had a good streak for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's his Maryland complex. I mean, can you keep up with this guy? So anyway, the movie I picked was from 1983, War Games. And War Games was a 1983 American Cold War science fiction film written by Lawrence Lasker and Walter Parks. It was directed by John Badham. The film starred Matthew Broderick, who was one of the most popular actors during that time in the early 80s. And, even the late 80s, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, he had a string of good hits. And it's also Dabney Coleman, John Wood, and Ali Sheedy. She was in every movie, too. It seems that back in those days, she was in The Breakfast Club and all those John Hughes movies. And this was everybody's worst nightmare, of course, if you're too young, of course, if you're of age during those times, we had the threat of nuclear war. That was the boogeyman that they threw at us back then. The nuclear holocaust. How every major city in America was targeted by hundreds of nuclear missiles, and this movie combined the early emergent computer technology when PCs first started making their ways into households, and the teenager in the movie, Matthew Broderick, his character is a computer whiz, and he somehow he's a hacker. This is 1983, and he happens to hack into the Pentagon's defense systems. The film was a box office success. It cost $12 million and grossed $79 million after 5 months in North America. The film was nominated for 3 Academy Awards, and there was a sequel. I didn't know about this in 2008. It was straight to DVD. It was called War Games: The Dead Code. Excuse me. So, like I said, this film it was really ahead of its time if you think about it. The ending is pretty much filmed. Supposedly, it takes place inside NORAD's headquarters, and the computer, the man who programmed who originally created the program, he created a simulation for the Pentagon and NORAD to simulate a nuclear war to see who would win and how they could learn. But of course, we know who the winner is, and that's nobody. There cannot be a winner in a nuclear war. Just won't happen unless you wait it out a couple of thousand years. Yes, and there are bunkers all over. There are underground cities all over the United States and probably every major country in the world. But I mean, come on, you want to live underground for years and years and years? Doesn't make sense. But anyway, here's a small little clip from the movie War Games. You know, this fucking thing's really pissing me the fuck off tonight. I'm sorry for my language tonight.
Hello. Are you still playing a game?
Of course, I should reach DEFCON 1 and launch my missiles in 28 hours. Would you like to see some projected kill ratios?
69% of the housing destroyed. 72 million people dead. Is this a game, or is it real?
What's the difference?
Oh, wow.
You are a hard man to reach. Could not find you in Seattle, and no terminal is in operation at your classified.
That sounds like Andrew.
What classified address?
DOD pension files indicate current mailing at Dr. Robert Hugh, a.k.a. Stephen W. Vulcan, 5 Tall Cedar Road, Goose Island, Oregon, 97.
Can I just talk to Mr. McKittrick? I think I know what's going on. Can I talk to Mr. McKittrick?
And then that's when the men in black come in and arrest Matthew Broderick. The character in the movie who creates the program for the Pentagon, if you heard the name, it was Stephen Falcon. I always thought that was that character was based on the Stephen Hawking, who just recently died. That was strange. It's a little strange coincidence. But, I mean, this movie, if you're looking back on it now, what is it, 35 years ago? Has anything changed? The plot of the movie is because the Pentagon, when they're afraid that when the moment of truth would have come to launch the nuclear weapons, that the human responsible for activating the launches would freeze because they'd be afraid. So they enlist the professor Stephen Falcon to create the program to do it automatically, which is AI. I mean, they want to do this. Who knows if it's not already done, where the Pentagon and whoever else is in control of things, they want to eventually. The rumor is, they want to link everything to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence runs everything. And what happens if one day artificial intelligence just launches the nukes? And they made a movie about that a year later in The Terminator. That was Skynet. Skynet launches the nuclear weapons to eradicate humanity. Scary stuff. I mean, these are things we need to think about, always think about, because as long as nuclear weapons exist. But I mean, listen, I was never afraid of that stuff because I mean, if that happens, who cares? We got to see how the game ends. I mean, it's over at that point. It's over. There's no reason to go on living, so you might as well just accept your fate. But that would not be good for humanity. I liked that movie when it came out. I used to watch it a lot when it first came out because, like I said, it was very interesting. It was ahead of its time. And just if you go back and look at that movie, 1983, and when they have the film, the footage from the Pentagon, which is NORAD headquarters, I mean, come on, that's a giveaway of how advanced the Pentagon and the CIA and everybody else is. It's rumored they're 30 to 50 years advanced in technology, and it's always growing exponentially because as computing power grows, their technology grows, and I mean, they have an unlimited budget. We just saw a couple weeks ago when Trump passed the budget. I mean, you think they only get so much money listed on the budget? A lot of money goes under the table. That's why when you have people like Dick Cheney, the day before 9/11, he goes on the press conference and says, "Oh, oops, we misplaced $2.3 trillion. Where do you think that money goes? That money goes to the Pentagon for dark projects and unlimited technologies. It's disgusting. I mean, there's always that argument that if they took just some of that money for 1 year, the things they could do for our country, for the public. You know, they talk about water shortages. They could build desalination plants in the ocean and get us fresh water, clean water. There's so many things they could do, but all the money goes to these secret advanced technologies. I guess it benefits us. I mean, if you look at everything you have in front of you, it's probably from 25, 30 years ago. Things that were experimented on. But I like that movie, and if I out of 5 stars, I'd probably give that movie 3.5 stars, 4 stars. I mean, if you go back and look at it now, it's a little outdated because of the computer technology. But if you just suspend your disbelief, and just imagine that he's hacking into the Pentagon with a Mac. You get the idea. So that's it for this week as far as movies are concerned. So I guess that brings us to the news and what we talked about before at the beginning of the show. Facebook rocked the scandal, the data breach. I think it's a data breach. Cambridge Analytica. I think from what I read, it was over 80 million accounts hacked, or not hacked, but just breached. The privacy is not being protected. And it's really scary. I mean, listen, if you're on Facebook or on social media, you have to, I know maybe the UCY TV audience will scoff and go, oh, Frank, we know this. But you know what? Just maybe because we're a little bit advanced and a little bit woken, there's a lot of people out there that don't even realize this. I mean, if you go on Facebook, every once in a while you see those apps. Like a couple of weeks ago, those apps where it shows your face on the cover of a magazine, or it switches your face like if you're a boy, it makes your face look like a girl. If you're a girl, it makes your face look like a guy. Those are data mining apps. All the apps on Facebook, most of them are data mining apps, and those in particular are face recognition apps. I mean, if you go to your settings on Facebook, there's a facial recognition setting that it will record your facial dimensions for any video or photo you appear in, to enable to recognize you. It's scary. You can shut it off, by the way. So anyway, let's read Mark Zuckerberg, who now, I mean, there's rumors, there's little whispers that he should step down. How's he going to step down? The guy, he's bigger than everything. I mean, technically he could step down as the CEO, but I mean, he's still going to be a majority stakeholder. I mean, it's ridiculous. So let's go. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has said that the new data privacy laws will only apply in spirit to more than 3/4 of the company's users. So in other words, he's saying, "Screw you. This is just pacifying you." And Europe's General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) will force the social network to comply with strict rules about privacy of its European users. But Mr. Zuckerberg failed to commit to rolling out the protections globally. So what? He's just going to worry about Europe? This is ridiculous. And by the way, Facebook sucks. You want to talk about being outdated? Facebook's time has come and gone. I mean, you only keep up. It's only good to keep up with your friends and keep tabs on like old acquaintances and family. But come on, if you're a Facebook user, I never even look at my newsfeed anymore. It's stupid. There's always these obscure posts from your friends that you don't even know about from a month ago. I mean, who gives a crap? The only thing I like to use Facebook now is to creating groups or joining groups. That could be okay. That could be fun. But listen. There's got to be another app out there that getting ready to replace it. But I don't know. Facebook has become such a monster, a corporate monster. They have so much money. And again, what did I just say before? Advertising rules the world, and that's what rules Facebook. They make, I guarantee, they make 80% of their revenue from ads. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So Mr. Zuckerberg goes on to say, we're still nailing down details on this, but it should directionally be in spirit the whole thing, whatever that means. With only 17% of its 2.2 billion users residing within Europe, the vast majority of Facebook users will not benefit from the new rules. That's great. Facebook has faced pressure in recent weeks to better protect its users' data following revelations that the data analytics firm Cambridge Analytica harvested personal information from more than 50 million Facebook accounts in the build-up to the 2016 U.S. elections. Now, what is that about? I thought it was the Russian trolls that were interfering with the election or mining information from Facebook. Can you believe anything? Can you believe anything they tell you? An investor said that Mark Zuckerberg should quit as Facebook chairman. Why? What's that going to do? Is that going to make them obliged to follow the rules? Facebook and all these huge social media apps and sites should be regulated as utilities, but they don't want that. Adding that the data privacy issue represented a risk to our democracy. Yeah, okay. Where's Robert Mueller on that one? Yeah, exactly. The new data protection law set to come into effect on May 25th will give people more control over how companies store and use their personal data. And by the way, there's also, if you go to the settings, there's also an option where you can download all the information that the apps have taken from you. I did it the other week. And it's a little silly, but one scary thing is, like, for instance, your contacts, your phone contacts. They have I downloaded it and I looked at. I had contacts that I had erased years ago, so they even store your deleted contacts. Okay, so I guess if you're looking for an old phone number from a friend, a girlfriend, or boyfriend, you could do that, I guess. You could go and download your Facebook information and see if you can find that old number. The new data protection law set to come into effect on May 25th will give people more control. Privacy advocates argued that Facebook is doing only what is legally required of them and needs to do more to address issues relating to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. See, that's it. There is no laws. And Congress these days, I don't know, maybe because they're so busy with this bullshit Russia investigation that they're being distracted from the real issues. Russia. There wouldn't have been any Russia investigation had Hillary won, right? I goddamn guarantee you, there would have been no Russia investigation, no Robert Mueller had Hillary won. So in essence, it's only a problem because Donald Trump won. Their candidate didn't win, so that's why it's a problem. So they have to figure out what happened, because, like I've said many time again on the show, Hillary and the Democrats had everything covered, brother. They had everything covered. They had social media covered. They had they had $1.5 billion to play with. They spent all the social money on social media, the Hillary bots. They had the debates rigged, the primaries rigged against Sanders. They had all the dirt they could get on Donald Trump. They had everything covered. It was a slam dunk. They could not lose. But guess what? She still lost because she's a crook. She's a disgusting human being. That's why. And I don't mean to dehumanize anybody, but she's a disgusting human being. If you ever look and read and go really dig into who she is as a person, and her husband, and who the people they associate with, disgusting. I'm not saying Donald Trump is a saint, but I mean, next to Hillary, I guess anybody is. Data is central to Facebook's advertising business, and it has not yet sketched out a satisfying plan for how it plans to comply, said Pivotal Research Analyst Brian Weiser. And that reminds me, every now and then you get those pop-ups on Facebook, and they ask you, how satisfied are you with your privacy on Facebook? Put 0, no stars. I haven't heard any solutions for Facebook to get ahead of the problem yet, Weiser said. Failure to comply with the law carries a maximum penalty of up to 4% of annual revenue. Ooh, wow, a drop in the bucket. It should not be difficult for companies to extend EU practices and policies elsewhere because they already have systems in place, said Nicole Ozer, Director of Technology and Civil Liberties at the American Civil Liberties Union of California. Companies' promises are less reassuring than law, she said. If user privacy is going to be properly protected, the law has to require. Folks, I don't know. If you have to really use Facebook, try not to put anything that could be damaging, okay? That in case it got stolen or given away, it wouldn't be invasive. So who and what is Cambridge Analytica? They are a political consulting firm based in the UK, but they also have offices in DC and New York. According to their website, Cambridge Analytica collects and connects data to strategically consult and communicate for and with political candidates. So look at this. Political candidates can use Facebook. So Facebook sells, basically, if I'm not wrong, Facebook sells information from their users to political candidates. This is, I mean, I guess if they all have equal access to this, it's not cheating. It's not an advantage. I guess. As we've seen in the news in the past few weeks, they do this by gathering information through data mining, data brokerage, and data analysis. Data mining means finding data, and data brokerage means selling that data. Yes, that's what I said. So basically, these guys are scheming straight out of the gate. What's more important, however, is that they are using a lot of information they collect to influence electoral processes all around the world. And even though it's unethical, it's legal, sort of. Oh, I mean, is this collusion? What is this? Is this tampering with elections? I don't know. You tell me. Where's Robert Mueller? What happened? What happened to those Facebook ads that the Russians, the Russian trolls, bought? And why was Facebook doing business with these people? In general, they are being accused of manipulating information to sway elections around the world. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? As it pertains to this particular scandal of Facebook, they gathered personal information from over 50 million Facebook profiles. If you're bad with numbers like I am, less than 40 million people live in the entire state of California, so 50 million plus is a lot of Facebook profiles. You're damn right it is. It's the size of a country. Furthermore, Cambridge Analytica didn't have authorization to get this data from the profiles. They stole this information. How is this not a big deal? But Donald Trump's son has a lunch with a fake Russian lawyer with a fake Russian accent, and they're ready to hang him for treason. I'm sorry. I'm a little angry this week. As The Guardian reported, they did this to create a system that could target U.S. voters with political advertisements curated to their psychological profile. You stupid jerks. You're all being manipulated. And people swear by it. Listen, I'm sorry, but Mrs. Zuckerberg is right. Facebook users, most of them are all dummies. They're right. He's right. Believe me, I encounter them every day. These people don't have the brain capacity, the mental health to distinguish between a fake meme, information on a fake meme, whether it's real or not. What's going on with the world? What's going on with humanity? Were we always this stupid, or just now that it's really we're being exposed? In summation, they played us. No shit. And as I just mentioned, Cambridge Analytica mined and broken data from Facebook profiles. But what did Facebook do wrong here, you ask? In 2014, Facebook launched a quiz app that asked Facebook users questions. See, what did I say? Those damn apps. Don't open them. Erase them. Hide them. They're data mining traps. And according to Forbes, once Facebook users used this app and filled out the questionnaire, the app would collect their private, personal Facebook information as well as information of their Facebook friends. It's the same thing when you try to play a game. They ask you what could they take. After this app leaked over 40 million people's information, Facebook did close to nothing to intervene. As Zuckerberg stated in his public apology, this was a breach of trust, and I'm sorry we didn't do more time. Bullshit! Bullshit! You can't. Either Zuckerberg's stupid or he's in on it. Either way, he's guilty of it. Cambridge Analytica used our information to manipulate us. In my opinion, the worst part of all of this isn't that the information leaked. The worst part is that it's being used against us to possibly swing an election or elections. Where's Robert Mueller? Where are all these fake late night talk show hosts who are worried about Russia? You jamokes. They're all a bunch of jamokes. So I'm tired. I'm bored of this article already. Listen, we're screwed. We're screwed. We are screwed. And talking about screwed, the migrant caravan abandoned its plan to travel to the U.S. border. Oh, I wonder why. What's the matter? They were expecting a welcoming committee? A caravan. We have support teams at the border if there are people who need assistance there, but they would have to travel on their own. Matias Romero told AFP in the town of southern Mexico state of Oaxaca. The just 1,000 migrants who currently make up the caravan, many traveling in families of 20 people. Why would you do that? Is their country so... yeah, see, then when Trump calls their countries a shithole country, everybody gets up in arms. But look at this. These people are so desperate to get out of their shithole countries. They look at the risks they take. They roll the dice, all or nothing. Let's get to the United States. Many traveling families of up to 20 people have been camped in the southern town since the weekend, deciding next move in the face of daily attacks on Trump. Oh, Trump is the bad guy. Trump is attacking them. Oh, well, he should welcome them and give them. You know what? We should all buy every family of those 1,000 migrants. We should buy the mansions, beachfront property. We should set them up a beachfront property with a $5,000 salary every week for life. Why not? We could afford it. The Republican president vowed to send the U.S. military to secure the border and threatened to axe the North American free agent agreement after if Mexico did not stop the caravan. Yeah, good. Let's see how tough Trump is. You better do something. The caravan is, in fact, a yearly event whose goal is more to raise awareness about the plight of migrants than to reach the United States. Bullshit! A lot of them get through. Though some participants have traveled to the border in the past. This is bullshit. This is not a protest. This is not a call for attention. Who said they're allowed to come into the country? Murica said that this year's caravan was so large it would have been dangerous to travel the border by train hopping. I mean, look at this. It's open season. There are too many children. Fuck the children. It's not my fault that it's not my fault. I'm sorry. Children die every day. It's too bad. I'm sorry. Nobody told them to come to the border. Whatever happens to them, happens to them. They starve. Fuck them. There are a lot of babies. Fuck them. And you know what? You might say, Frank, you're being disgusting. How come people? These same people who are getting triggered right now, the liberals and the left. Oh, the babies. But how come they don't care about abortions? Suggest to them that that Trump might withhold 10% of their funding, and they'll go crazy. There'll be riots all over the country this weekend because they want their abortions. The caravan now plans to travel to the central city of Puebla for a conference, then on to Mexico City for a series of demonstrations. Fuck you, demonstrations. If I was Trump, I'd send drones there and scatter that gathering with drone strikes. Yeah, I would shoot missiles at those people. I'm just playing around. And then this journey there. The group, mainly Hondurans, also includes Salvadorians, Guatemalans, and Nicaraguans, mostly fleeing the brutal gang violence has made Central America home to some of the highest murder rates in the world. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Because maybe their countries are the shithole countries. And why are their countries shithole countries? Oh, maybe it's because Trump said it. That's why. That must make it. Organizers said that Mexican immigration authorities are working with the migrants to get their papers to stay in Mexico. Good. Let them stay in Mexico. But you know what? Those people don't want to stay in Mexico. Pollack praised the Mexican government for its response. Yeah, okay. And he quotes, Donald Trump wanted the world to crush us, to erase our existence. Yeah, so do I. Donald Trump's not the only one. Mexico responded admirably, and we thank the government for the way it handled this carry. So good. Then why do you want to come to America? Why do you want to come to the United States? Stay in Mexico then. Central American migrants whose trek across Mexico infuriated President Donald Trump has decided not to travel to the U.S. border. No, it's because Donald Trump threatened to get the military there. But then, supposedly, the POTUS Comitatus Act suggests that maybe he can't do that, but he could do whatever he wants in this case because Congress could authorize military use. This is protecting the border of the United States. Like I said earlier at the top of the show, 1,000, 1,200, it's an invasion. Don't tell me they're homeless. You don't know who these people are. And you don't know what they are, what they want, and and even if they at worst they need help, aid. It's a drain on your mind and your resources. Unbelievable. So the Pentagon said it was looking for ways to expand border opportunities. The Pentagon is looking at ways it can fulfill President Trump's request to have military guard the U.S.-Mexico border. Spokesman Dana White said There are a number of ways the Department of Defense is already supporting the Department of Homeland Security border security mission, White said. We are still in consultation with the White House about ways we can expand that support. And as it has become apparent that Congress was not going to give Trump the full funding he has requested to build a wall, the president has looked to the military to fill the gap. Last week, Trump suggested on Twitter that the Pentagon could spend some of its just signed 2018 budget to help pay for the wall, which is estimated to cost about $25 billion. And you might say, wow, that's a lot of money. But do you know how much it costs yearly for the United States to combat or help illegal immigrants, illegal aliens? Over $150 billion. Then on Monday, Trump said he'd spoken to Defense Secretary Jim Mattis about how the military could further support the wall beyond funding. I've been speaking with General Mattis. We're going to be doing things militarily. Until we can have a wall and proper security, we're going to be guarding our border with the military. That's a big step. It's a big step. We really have never done that before. Or certainly not very much. I don't know. My bad Trump impersonation. The defense official who spoke on the condition of not being identified suggests that one possibility is that the National Guard forces could be used to secure the border, as they did in 2006 to 2008, Operation Just Cause. But that official had no additional details beyond that. You know, it's ridiculous. Come on, man. That's. Listen, the United States became the most powerful nation in the world, survived 2 world wars pretty much unscathed, with the exception of losing, the brave men and women. And I'm talking about unscathed as far as the homeland of America, minus the Pearl Harbor incident. We didn't get nothing. Nothing happened to us while the whole world was burning. You know why? Because we have 2 big oceans, one on each side, one on the East Coast and West Coast. We have Canada to the north, and then we have Mexico to the south. That's the Achilles heel of the United States. Anybody could funnel in through that border. And, come on, forget the people. What about the drug smuggling? What about the human trafficking? That's why I want to tell these progressive idiots, these left idiots who blindly support illegal aliens. You're creating a black market for human trafficking, human sex trafficking. You idiots, you jerks. That's what you are. In my opinion, that's what you people are. You're idiots. Moving along real quick because we have almost 5 minutes left. A study on a prosthetic memory system successfully implemented in humans. So it's a fake memory system? What else? What is this? Is this code? Is this code for a brain chip? We're familiar with the amazing power of prosthetic limbs, but scientists have taken the power of prosthesis to a new level. A pilot study conducted by a team of researchers from Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center and the University of Southern Cal successfully implemented a prosthetic memory system in the human brain. So this is what? Just say it, a computer chip. The technology taps into the individual's natural memory patterns to strengthen the brain's ability to encode and recall information. Researchers found that the system improved the patient's short-term memory performance by nearly 40%. In particular, it helps with all individuals' episodic memory, which is what Alzheimer's patients or those who suffer strokes and head trauma typically see weakened. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe Facebook could use the information from your brain, from your memory, to sell. Of course, right? The study tested the prosthetic memory system on epilepsy patients who were already participating in a diagnostic brain mapping procedure using surgically implanted electrodes in different parts of the brain to detect seizures. They sought to influence the firing patterns of neurons in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that oversees new memories. This is just bullshit. I mean, it sounds good on paper when you read about it. You say, Frank, it could help people with brain injuries, mental disorders, or brain disease who have lost their memories. It could help people strengthen their memories. But that's not going to be how it works. It's always going to wind up falling into the wrong hands. It's just retarded. It's retarded. And finally, more fear porn. What would Newsweek be without fear porn? New York City could be hit with a $39 billion in damage with 30 million tons of debris clogging the streets if a long overdue earthquake hit. Yeah, you know what? A lot of New York would be in crisis. I remember maybe 5 years ago there was a little 2.0 tremor, and my apartment swayed. The city of 8.5 million people is not thought of as a tremor hotspot, but the 5 boroughs are riddled with fault lines that could bring dozens of buildings down. Because the city is so dense and littered with thousands of tall buildings, even a 5.0 magnitude earthquake nearby would cause such damage, experts fear. What about the subways? New York statistically gets a quake every century, and the last one was 1884, making it well overdue for another. The city statistically also gets a 6.0 every roughly 670 years and a 7.0 roughly every 3,400 years, both of which could do massive damage. Yes, they would do we would be rebuilding New York for 10 years. If a 7.0 forget, and not including the loss of life, God forbid, if a 7.0 magnitude quake hits, more than 6,000 or older unreinforced masonry buildings would almost certainly crumble in a huge disaster. Sure, like I said, 2 years ago, it was a 2.0. My apartment swayed back and forth, back and forth. I'm surprised there was no damage done. But we're coming up close to the end of the show. I mean, this is crap. I'm sorry. I apologize to Jules, who runs UCY TV, and the audience if I got a little crazy tonight, we're cursing. But I mean, come on, I've had it. I mean, I try to present this in a comedic fashion, but sometimes you just got to blow your top. This is garbage. I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I'm tired of it. I can't deal with it anymore. The hypocrisy of the news, the mainstream media, and just the world in general. And not only that, the icing on the cake is the blind, dumb sheep who swear by it. They swear by it and form their opinions and life beliefs based on what they read and hear every day. But anyway, that's going to do it. Andrew, he had technical difficulties. You could follow him on Andy's Randomness on YouTube and Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, even though I hardly tweet. You can also follow my YouTube channel, Frank T, capital T, on YouTube. That'll be it. We'll be back again next week, live, Wednesday, 8 p.m. on UCY TV for another episode of Spam. Have a safe and happy weekend, and thank you for listening. God bless. We're out of here.